Hello, everyone. So glad to be back after a long weekend, and I hope all of you had a great rest and spent some good times with your family members. You know, Obviously, given the COVID situation, I know it's a bit difficult, but uh, we live with the times. So we have some amazing new stuff to show you today. And let us take a quick look at the agenda for today's webinar. We will be taking you through the updates to the Invoice Designer. Then we will look at how we can use credit card accounts for payments in books. We will also see how you can now easily access help from within the books application itself. Then we will talk about the drag and drop feature in the report builder. We have added iCal calendar sync for CRM, which will allow you to sync your activities calendar with your normal calendars. There is filter option available in campaign reports now. And then we will go through our usual books, CRM, and people demo. And for showing you all of this today, I have with me David, our favorite host. So David, over to you, and let's begin.
All right. So I'll just go share my screen. All good? Everyone can see it? Excellent. I'm sorry, what again? What's the first thing we're showing?
Updates to the
Invoice design.
Updates to the invoices. Sorry about that. There we go. So inside here, you now can hide your fields. So for example, if I want to hide company address, I can hide it. I can hide billing address. I can hide shipping address. So all these fields are now being able to be removed based upon my requirements. I can remove signature, terms and conditions, notes, show discount, and show tax. And again, of course, we can still add fields like images, text, signatures, and watermarks. So the key thing here now is you're able to hide what you don't want. So if you're in a service business and you don't want shipped to, it's now gone. Just at a click of a button.
And there is a hidden thing here. If you click on bill to, for example, and just click on bill to on the text.
Okay.
No, on the left-hand side. In the left-hand side menu where you see the label bill to.
Label bill to, okay.
Yeah, just click there and just, you can remove that now and you can put in your own text there actually.
on top of the text.
Just click on the text.
Oh, just click on the text and I can change it, of course. Like this.
No. The words bill to can be.
Oh, okay. You can change the word bill to.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Awesome.
So if you want to use a different label there, you can do that as well. We will make it better. So it's more obvious that you can change that.
All right. Oh, cool. All right. Very cool. All right.
So yeah, so we used to keep getting requests that, hey, I don't want to see a ship to field, or we don't want to see the tax field or the discount field. And I completely understand that. You don't want to show a discount field because sometimes, when you show the discount field, then people ask for discounts and you don't want to get into that situation. Plus, yeah, obviously you need to have the flexibility to design your own invoice the way you want. And we are adding those features here. So that's it. It's live. Go ahead, play around with it, and let us know how it works for you.
All right.
Okay, wonderful. So that was the Invoice Designer. And let's move on to the next item on the agenda, which is credit card accounts for payment in books. So David, let's see that in action.
All right. So let's go to accounting. Inside here, you can go to your chart of accounts, and then I can click add. So this is where I can add my card. So I type in liabilities. So current liabilities, I put in a code. Oops. I put in the name. And here is the key thing. Use this credit card to make and receive payments. You can pay through outstanding balance using the fund transfer in GE. So this is where you click it to make it available. And then you click save. Next, I'm going to go to buy. Inside buy, I can see all my bills, and I can click pay. Now inside here, when I drop down, I can see my current liabilities, my Visa card. I can select the payment as card, choose the reference date, put in the reference number, go next, make payment. And then I can close it. Now I can go to my accounting, and I can see my journal entries. And I can expand this, and you can see here accounts payable, and now it's gone to Visa. Next, I can create a fund transfer. Inside here, I can select from, so which bank account I want to pay it from, so maybe Wells Fargo. And then to, and then I can look here for my Visa. So now I have my Visa here. Then I can put in the total amount, so I think it was about $10,000 if I remember correctly, and I save. You can put in the check number, of course, or bank transfer, for example, and then you can save. And then here you can see that it's been knocked off for $10,000. You can also go to reports, such as your balance sheet, and then you can also see it here as well under your current liabilities. I can see, of course, my Visa and my different accounts here as well. Okay, so that's a quick look at how to pay credit cards.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And let us move on to the next item. And folks, while we are showing you all the new features and enhancements in the system, please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. We will answer them as and when we get them. So yeah, let's move on to the next item.
All right. So inside here, we now have a question mark. If you click the question mark, you can then search for different...
David, I think,
Sorry.
Because, layout guy.
No, I put that.
Yeah, okay, sure. So, yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. So you click on the question mark, and I can type in the key.
So yeah, okay, let's just step back. So yeah, the next feature that we are going to show is the easier access to help sources in books. And David will show you how to do that. So David, over to you.
All right. So inside here, I can click on the question mark, and then I can start typing what I want to know about. So for example, if I want to know about contacts, I can type in contacts, and you can see all our care articles are here. Can I save 2 contacts with the same name, for example? It opens up a document. I can read it and see the information here. So you no longer have to go to our care page. You just click the question mark and you type in your question here, and that way you can see the information.
Show the question mark again. I'll hide the...
Okay, so the question mark is here.
All right, wonderful. So now it's easy to access any support articles from inside the system. So you don't have to, open different tabs and find out where stuff is. So let's move to the next item on the agenda, which is drag and drop feature in the report builder. And David, let's take a look at how we can now easily drag and drop the graphs from the screen onto your dashboard.
All right, so inside here in the report builder, I can just drag and drop the report I want in here. So inside here, I click on it, and then I can just easily select what I want to show, like quantity, and then I can apply the changes, and then you can see the information here populate. If I want a bar graph, I can just drag and drop it or click it, and then I can go here and see the quantity again. Of course, we have multiple reports. So inside here, of course, you can go to invoicing and other areas. So we have product sales report, product purchase report, quote, invoice, bills, purchase order, payment, receipts, custom sales reports, product quote reports, inventory reports. You can see lots of stuff here. So you can just select what you want and just more or less drag and drop and click it, and then all of a sudden you can see the reports, for example.
Right, great. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the features that we are working on, and in future, what you can expect to see in the report builder is the option to get data from all the different Deskera sources. Plus, we are going to add drill down features in the report builder as well. So expect to see a lot more coming your way through the report builder. All right. So what's the next item on the agenda? We have iCal calendar sync in CRM. So David will show you this, but let me just talk a few minutes about what this functionality is. So using iCal, what you get is a live URL that you can generate from within the Deskera CRM system, and then just put that URL to add a new calendar. And once you do that, then your activity calendar, which you are creating within Deskera CRM, is synced with your own calendar. And that could be any calendar. It could be the Google Calendar. I mean, it could be Google Calendar. It could be Microsoft Calendar. Any other calendar application that you use, as long as it allows you to add a URL as a new calendar, you can sync your activities to your main calendar. So you always know if you have something planned by looking at your main calendar as well. You don't have to, go and check different calendar applications, or you don't have to go and check CRM for what your activity schedule is going to look like, and then go back to your main calendar. So you don't have to do all of that anymore. Just use the iCal sync and the problem is solved. So David, over to you, and let's show that.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to go to activities, and inside activities, there's something called generate calendar URL. After you get that, it's copied to the clipboard. You click on Google Calendar, and then inside here, I'm just going to click a plus sign to add a calendar, and I'm going to save from a URL. Then I'm going to paste the URL, and I'm going to add the calendar in here. And now the calendar is added. I can see this wonderful information here. And I can change the name to something more meaningful, maybe Deskera CRM, for example. So the calendar's there. I can go back out. I can see my other calendars, and I should be able to see any events. For example, I have a call now on Wednesday, and that's coming from the system. I can go back in time and take a look at other things that are happening as well. And it's linked. So that means when I go here and add an activity, such as in sales, if I add an activity here, such as maybe a meeting, and let's say this one's around 11:30 or 10:30 for maybe 4-hour duration, I can then put in the contact person and all the other information, and I can save it. It should then sync to my calendar.
Yeah, iCal will take some time to sync. It is not immediate sync because iCal and Google will have their own time-based syncing. So it will sync every few minutes.
Okay,
it's
so
not real time, but it will keep syncing every 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's to avoid too much bandwidth loss. I mean, otherwise, if you're syncing every time between two calendars, then that just is going to take a lot of bandwidth, which you want to avoid.
Makes sense.
Okay, great. So now you can, I mean, now when you open your normal calendar, you will be able to see any CRM activities scheduled there. So you don't have to, go to the CRM application to check what you have scheduled anymore, as long as you're adding that. Okay, so let's look at the next item on the agenda, which is filters in campaign management. So let's spend a few minutes to understand how it is useful for you. So filtering of campaign reports will allow you to create additional segments. So for example, let's say you run an email campaign, and that email campaign goes out to, let's say, 500 users or 500 email addresses, and out of those 500 email addresses, 200 read the email and 150 open the email, or basically you have different status options available there. And what you want to do is you want to create a segment out of the list to select only those people who had, let's say, opened the email. So and then you want to create a new segment, and you want to send a more targeted broadcast to only the people who had opened the email. Now you can do that by quickly filtering out the email receivers, and then creating a new segment for that. Or you can also add them to an existing segment. So let's take a look at how that works.
Okay, so we're inside campaigns here. And then we can see the publishing date. We can see the status, what's sent, what's not sent, how many people viewed it. And then we can drill in. Now inside the drill in, you can see there's filters. And we can see the who's read it and unread it, and the release date, and the emails here, and the read count. So I can see this one guy read it 3 times, which is very good. Now we have the filter over there, and we also have a search bar over there as well. So you can click on filter. And inside here, you can say read status. Is it read or unread? And we can also select read date range. So if I click on read and apply the filter, it'll filter out the read. If I click unread, apply the filter, it'll filter out the unread. So I can see who's been reading my mails, who's been not, and I can filter them out accordingly. We also have read date range. So what range did they actually read it on? So for example, from the 11th to the 16th of December, and filter it out. And then you can apply filter, and you can see who's read it on that date. And you can see he's read it 3 times. And you can clear the selection and apply the filter, and then you can see the filter, see all of them as is. Now we click on the search button, and you can type in the search. For example, a@a.com. And you filter out. So I can see a@a.com. And that's a quick look at filters.
Awesome. Thanks, David. So that covers all the new features that we had to show. And let's quickly take a look at the comments and see if there are any questions. So, right, so hashtag David the voice. Awesome. Okay, there is a question from Shashi Nair. When we select credit card, instead of type the card information, can we swap the card and the card information can be captured to the system? I'm afraid I did not understand the question. Could you maybe give us an example, Shashi, in the comments? The question is not clear.
From the swipe machine or from taking a picture of the card?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be one of the things. So not very clear about what the use case is here. So maybe some more detail will be needed. Then there is a question from Vicky. Hey, Vicky, campaigns for those that prefer FB Messenger or LinkedIn message, this can be an option as well. Some of my contacts would prefer this to email. Yeah, absolutely. So the long-term strategy, and when I say long-term, I mean the next quarter. So the long-term strategy for CRM campaigns is that we want to create a multi-channel campaign management system within CRM. Email is one of the channels. We want to add other channels, including text through maybe Twilio, messaging through WhatsApp, FB, LinkedIn, and all of these other options available. So absolutely, yes, we want to add that. We have the plan to add that. And hopefully in Q1, I will be able to give you a more definite timeline on when you can see this. So, okay, James is saying that the video is a bit blurred, but it seems to be okay for others. Maybe, James, maybe try to change the stream settings, because sometimes YouTube can default it to maybe 360p or something. So maybe try playing around with that. Hopefully that will help. Hey, so here's the question. Does Deskera have a backup option yet? I would like to back up my data on my HDD and server. We provide export of all your data to Excel files. So you can actually just export out all the information and put it on your HDD. Is that what you were looking for, or are you looking for like a one-click backup to CSV? If that is the case, I mean, we don't have a one-click backup to CSV at the moment, but that can be added.
And all data is
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it's your data, so yeah, I mean, your data is your data, so you
form
can get it.
CSV is okay.
Yeah.
Next, Shashi has clarified.
In any supermarket, they swipe the card with connected device, so the card information will appear on the screen. Oh, okay. Like card number, expiry date, contact name, etc. So, Shashi, I think the use case that you're referring to is more of a POS, a true POS, uh, which we don't have. I mean, we do not have card reading or swipe abilities because that would require, yeah, I mean, we don't have that. That's more in the fintech area. But if you have an application that does that, then you can pass that information through an API to Deskera. Okay, the next question is from James. I wish to add salesperson in invoice so that I can monitor the sales per salesperson. Is it via only custom field? Yes, we have custom fields for precisely this reason. You can add a custom field for salesperson, and then whenever you create a sales invoice, you can tag the salesperson, and then you can filter the report using that particular custom field. Then Mohammed then has a question. I am a new user to Deskera. I want to migrate my data from Wave Apps, but couldn't find any articles on tutorials. So when you're migrating your data from Wave Apps, I mean, we have import articles available on care.deskera.com. So if you're migrating your data from Wave or from Zero or QuickBooks or any other existing service provider, you can get the data, for example, your contacts, your products, your services, your chart of accounts, your opening balances in an Excel file, and you can import the Excel file to Deskera. The process is pretty straightforward, and I mean, the articles are there on care.deskera.com. And if you have any questions about it, you can just talk to our support team on live chat, or you can drop an email to care@deskera.com. Okay, so right, I don't see any other questions here for now. So let us move on to the demo of Deskera system. We'll start with Deskera books, and over to David. David.
All right, so I'm just here at the all-in-one dashboard, and you can see it's split up into 3 different applications. You see the Deskera books, Deskera sales, Deskera people. Under there, you can see invoices, age receivable, bank accounts, deals won and lost, your pipeline view, your contact reports, spends claim, payroll, and leaves per month. This data is all generated based upon the different tabs here. So for example, if I go into books, I can then see a more detailed dashboard of the system. There we go. So inside here, I can see invoices, age receivable, bills, my bank account. Hopefully the bank account is increasing and not decreasing. That'd be very bad. I can see my net cash flow and my profit and loss. I'm able to change and filter the dates here, like current year, last 6 months, last 12 months, previous year in this information. If you click here, and you can click on new organization, this is where you can put in the organization name, financial year start date, book beginning date, tax registry, and reporting currency. It's important to note that these are not editable currently after you create it, so please make sure you get it correct the first time. For tax registry, this is your statutory compliance, so it's important to correctly put in the one that you want inside here. Next, we can go to settings. Inside settings, of course, you have your users, unit of measurement. You have your taxes. So take note inside here, you can edit this tax so long as it's not been applied to any invoices or purchases yet. So you can edit the name and the information here. Just out of curiosity, for languages, I've noticed that if I change the language here, the tax name does not change accordingly. Are we planning to have something like that where the tax names will be changed
So
based on languages?
the tax name is user editable field actually. So that's why, I mean, whatever the user enters.
But tax group, I find if it's already assigned to a tax type, you cannot edit the name.
Yeah.
So, and our default one for Canada is already grouped all together.
Correct. So all the default ones are already there. So for Canada, for example, I mean, it's GST. I mean, you cannot translate GST.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Payment terms, audit log, your import log. This is your currency. So as we showed last time, I can now highlight the ones I want, and I can activate them and deactivate them at a click of the button. No longer do I have to do it one by one by one, which is very good. Also, I can click here and change the rates and update the rate currently, and I can see all the different exchange rates. I can view the rate here as well if it's not activated and see it accordingly. And I can click on the icon, the eye icon here to make it visible or not. We have our custom fields. So inside here, you can create 3 different types of custom fields. You can create a text box, a drop-down, a number field. You can set as mandatory. And it's currently available in contacts, accounts, quotation, order, product, journal entry, invoice, and bills. Now let's go buy something. So inside here, I can see my orders, my bills, my archive. And if I click up here, I can create a new order, a new bill, or a new expense bill. So if I click new order, I can add a contact. And I can also create a contact directly on the screen itself. So for example, maybe Cameras R Us. And maybe I want to buy an Apple computer. I can put in the quantity here. Why Cameras are selling Apple computers, I have no idea. I can put in the discount. Is it fixed or a percentage discount? And I can change the number range here, and I can create a custom number format up here as well. We also have global custom fields, and we have multi-currency options. So if I click here, I can select my currencies, and now I can choose which one I want. For example, like European Euro. I can set it as recurring. For example, do I have this bill? Do I have to do it every monthly, weekly, yearly, or do I have a custom? Like every 5 days, every so many weeks, every so many months, first document date, ending date, or does it never end? I'll be paying this till the day I die. After everything's done, I just save it. After saving it, I have my Cameras R Us. I can see it's here, and I can click the 3 dots, and I can receive the goods. I can choose the receiving date, and I can choose my warehouse here. But let's just say I don't have a warehouse, or I just have one warehouse, and I don't want to do that step. I can just click Bill and convert and auto-receive directly. After that, I can see my good old contacts under Bills, and I can pay. And then I can select my currency. For example, is it Euro, USD? And I can select Pay From, what I want to pay it from. And I can always change this around. So for example, Euro, got this payment type, bank transfer, put in the date, put in the reference number, go next, and then pay. And then of course I can print it out, select my template, and then I can see it over here. Of course, we have our document design, which we saw earlier, which is really cool. You can change the labels, which I think is awesome under design. So let's just quickly go to sell. I'm just going to quickly create an invoice. So here you can create a quote or an invoice. I'm just going to go to invoice this time. I'm going to add a contact. So for example, maybe Stacy's Gadgets. I'm going to add in some more. Maybe she's buying some Apple computers. And I click here the quantity, and you can see when I hover, I can see how much available quantity I have. Unit price, any discount. Again, we have custom formatting, global custom fields, multi-currency options, and setting as recurring. I'm going to save it. And inside here, I can click the three dots. I can go email, do the design. I can also fulfill. We have three different options for fulfillment. We have direct, pick, pack, ship, and drop ship. So I'm just going to do direct fulfillment and fulfill. And then after that, I can click get paid. And this time, I'm just going to select my MasterCard. So I'm just doing a card payment that we showed earlier. Just choosing the date and the reference number. Next, and receive. And close. All right, so that's buy and sell.
So, David, let's take a quick break here and look at some of the questions that have come up.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So, when is the batch number and expiry date feature coming from the Suhastra? We already have it. So, serial and batch number is already available in products. So, maybe we can quickly show that to you. So, over to David, who can quickly take us through how to use batch numbers in Deskera.
Sounds good. Let's go to products. Inside here, we can see our different products, and I can click on new product. We have three different types of product. We have non-tracked, which is like a service product, like a gardener, engineer. No, I would say not engineer, sorry. Gardener, electrician, plumber. What my sister does, a CPA. We have tracked products, which
Even
are
engineers, yeah, why not? I mean, engineers bill for man hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so yeah, engineers, I guess, as well,
Yeah.
billing for man hours. Tracked, which is like your laptop, your computer, stuff that you would have a batch number or serial number for. And we, of course, have our bill of materials, which is assembly, where you can think of it like, I always like to use chicken soup. I don't know why, but I like chicken soup. You have the chicken broth, you have the noodles, you have your carrots, your onions, and you put them all together and you cook it on up, and that's your finished product. So let's go to track, since you mentioned earlier batch and serial number. So inside here, we have the ability to enable advanced tracking. So here's your batch number, and here's your serial number here. So let's do batch. And let's call this, let's see, camera. All right, batch enabled, save it. Go to tracking, yes. So inside here, I can start putting my batch numbers. Actually, let me go here and just edit that one quickly and give it some opening stock. So that way we can actually sign it. So I can go here to inventory, and let me go here and let's go 10. And the opening valuation is maybe $5.99. Save the changes. Good. Let's go here, drill in, scroll down, inventory track product. I can edit it. Here, inventory tracking. Now this is where I can input my batch. So maybe I'll call this batch 1, and I want to add this to 5 quantity. Add in here. Now let's put in the manufacture date. Let's say this was manufactured on 1st December. Its expiry date is 1 year later. I think it should be a lot more than that. It's a camera. It should be at least good for 5 years. I can put the quantity here, and then I can save the changes. That way, when I sell the camera, let me just go quickly here, create a new one very fast, new invoice, add contact. Cameras are us. Let me add in the camera. I want this to be, yeah, 1 piece should be fine. Let's save it. Oh, unit price. Very expensive camera. Something that I can never afford. And after that, I click on the 3 dots. And then I can go to fulfill. Direct fulfillment. And then I can click here. And I can add a batch. So for example, click here, batch 1. And done. And fulfill. Hopefully that answers your question on batches.
Awesome, David. Thanks for showing us batch number and expiry function there. Then let's go to the next question. So the next question is, how do I do the year ending in Deskera? So FI 1420, etc. And I want to transfer it over to the next year. So, Shashi, we just launched the product on 17th October. So we have not added year ending as of now, but it will be there in Q1. Uh, the reason why we have not added it as yet is because people who just start using Deskera will not be ending the year right now. They'll be ending it towards the end of 2021 rather. So we have some time to add that, but yeah, we will add that. And as you already know, probably we had that in the previous system, so you know that it's going to be there in the new one as well. Okay. Next is from the Suhaspra. Barcode doesn't work with the scanner. It only works with mobile app. Any plan to add this feature? So with mobile app, it does work. You have mentioned that also. So if you are scanning barcodes with the mobile camera, yes, it will work. If you are trying to scan it on the web application, then you probably will have to connect a barcode scanner as a keyboard input into your system. So once you connect a barcode scanner to the keyboard outlet or a USB outlet on your device, then that barcode scanner will read the barcode. It will convert it into a text or string, which will be recorded as a text input as if somebody had typed it on the keyboard. But yeah, of course, that will only work when you are in the specific screen. Web application is not ideal for that. That's why we have the mobile application to just use the mobile camera and quickly scan barcodes. But yeah, I mean, if you do want to, then you can connect the barcode scanner as a keyboard input into your laptop or your computer. Okay, so the next question is from Vicky. I know you have a to-do list, but dark mode, Q1 or Q2. So we definitely will get a dark mode, but we are making changes to the UX. So we want to get to a more stable state where we have lesser UX changes. And once we have achieved that, then we will add different versions as well. Because otherwise, if you have multiple UX changes going on, as you can see, we are adding more compliances, we are adding more features, and that means that the UX is constantly evolving. So so it is more painful to maintain both dark and light mode separately that way. So yeah, once we have more stable UX in place, wherein we have done all the changes, added all the compliances, etc., or at least all the ones that we are aiming for now, then we will go for the dark mode as well. So if I have to take a guess, I would say towards the end of Q1 or maybe early Q2 is when we would be looking at it. Okay, so next question is from Janet. We hope you add a note section in every invoice or with payment. We already have a memo section in invoice, so you can use that. Plus, if you want to take more detailed notes or you need multiple fields for capturing notes, you can also add a text custom field. So, David, could you quickly show us the memo in invoice?
Sure.
Thank you.
So inside here, I'm just going to go and edit one of these invoices. And then I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom of the screen. So this is where we have memo. So for example, if I just go to wiki, Control A, Control C, paste. So you can see all this information's been put in here for the memo.
Yeah, maybe we can just put some information and show instead of putting an entire
The history.
Wikipedia article.
Okay, sorry. I just want to show you can put a very long memo.
Yeah.
So it's, you can put a lot of information in here and then you can print it on out accordingly. So let me just delete some of this memo.
It's too much already.
Yeah, too much already. Okay. I just want to show you very simply that you can put in a lot of information
Okay.
and then you can just save it.
Next.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, let's go to the next question. How to change the default design for all invoices and quotes? David, let's show you that. Yeah,
How to change the default design for all invoices and quotes.
You're talking-
templates.
Templates. I love
Invoice
templates.
Designer. So yeah, let's have a look at the Invoice Designer.
Okay, let's go. 1 second. Aha, there we go. Scrolling on down, document templates.
So let's go to the design.
Oh, design itself? Oh, okay. We can do that as well.
Let's go to it.
All right.
So yeah, just to add on, because I know that many of you are using both Designer and the template option. We have an option to upload the Word file as well as your own template, but I would say we are going to deprecate that because we want to focus on one designer, not two. It doesn't make sense to have two things doing the same thing in the same system. So in future, we are going to keep adding to the invoice generator or the invoice designer as you are more familiar with. And the Word template is gonna be there. So if you're using it and you want to continue using it, then yes, go ahead. But more features and more options will be added to the invoice generator. And with that, passing it back to David, you can show us how you can configure and design your own invoices.
Yep. So inside Deskera Books, you just click on the 3 dots and then you can click on Designer. After that, inside here, you can add in your logo. You can choose your document types like your quotation invoice. I can change the colors theme. So if I want to change the theme of the color, I can choose also from the multiple templates we have. As you can see, we have tons and tons of templates here. And based upon that, I can look at what I want to change. I can update the address as we saw earlier. Now you can also change this as well. For example, and I can get rid of the ship to address. Currency symbol, if I don't want USD and I just want to show the $sign, I can do that here. Update the invoice, change the number format. For example, if I'm in the US, it's month, day, year. Hide the invoice date or the due date. See the line items. I can add a signature if I want to. Terms and conditions, notes. So I can hide everything if I want to. And after that, I can also add any fields here. Like I want to add another image, text, signature, or watermark. For example, licensed. And I can change the image ratio here. So if I want the smaller. And I just click on it. I can delete it whenever I want. Then I can download or print, as well as share. So did I answer the question, or is it good, or?
Yeah, so yeah, you can design your own template here. And alternatively, you can also use the Word option. So so that is also there. All the documentation is available on care.deskera.com. If you want to use either of the options, feel free to. But as I said, this is the one where we will be adding more options, more improved UX, and so on.
So if I close that and I go back and click on the 3 dots, I go back to design, you can see all the information, all the fields I clicked are there. But of course, if you're in incognito mode, it'll go back to blank screen after you close it.
Yeah. Okay, so so there is feedback from Koroy that it would be great if you could unfold the memo field for better readability. Absolutely agree with you. So yeah, if you have more than a few lines in the memo, then it becomes difficult to read that. Completely on board with you on that. So That's feedback for us, and we should see some changes there. Thanks. Then there is a question from Mohammed Zeni. Please make auto reduction for Malaysia compliance payroll for SOXO, EIS, PCB, Zakat. We are doing that. We are working on that. What you are seeing in the system right now in Malaysia payroll is like phase one. The second phase is already in development. It is in QA right now, and we should be able to give you that in the first week of January. I mean, around the first or the second week of January. So you would have it well before you are going to be running the payroll for the month of January. Okay. Then,
Chris knows about.
oh, did I miss a question? Oh, can we send month-end due statement to all my customers? Yes, we have statement of account, and you can email the statement of account from within the system. David, would you quickly just take us through that?
Sure. So let's go to reports. Let's go to the statement of accounts. Fascinating. Okay, here we go. And then we have the email button here. So I can select the start date, as of date, and the contact code, and I can click email. So I can see all the statements accounts. I click email, and I can see here subject statements accounts. Please find attachment for this period. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you. And I can send it out, and it'll go to all the wonderful emails I've created in the system. So that's how you do it.
Right. Awesome. Okay. So next question. James has a question. So in Invoice, sometimes we had package like Christmas promo when we bundle 2 products for $99. So it is not a product, but rather a package. So yes, we can do that. There are a couple of ways to do that. Now, if you are packaging service items, right, then you can just add it in the description. So when I say service items, I mean items that you're not tracking or that you're not counting. So it's not your inventory or any physical products. But if you are going to be packaging 2 physical products, then you want to keep a track of the count as well, in which case you can use bills of material. That is one option. And David will quickly show us how we can use bills of material to create a package.
All right. So I'm just going to go back to products, and we're going to create a bill of material called a computer set or a computer bundle 101 for something like that. You buy a monitor and you get a mouse, for example.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
could be a package like that, or yeah, I mean, you can club any 2 inventory items together actually.
So we'll call this Christmas package. Sorry for my spelling. Then I can click on bill of materials here, and then I can select the type. So like, for example, maybe you get a monitor, you can add a mouse. So this will be your cost. And then under accounting, I can put in the sales price. So maybe this Christmas package is $1,200 default. Purchase price, I can just leave it blank because this is the Christmas special. And I can add any additional cost here. Maybe there's packaging costs or anything like that,
yeah,
including, and like, let's call it packaging. And let me go put in the amount here. Maybe it's $10 for the package. And I save it. So now when I assemble this, it's now assembling a monitor as well as a mouse. So if I click on this one here for the assembly, I can decide how many Christmas packages I want to create here. If I don't want to decide here because I don't know how many I'm going to be selling, I can go directly to sell. I can go create a new invoice. Let me add a contact. Stacy's Gadgets, top customer. Let's go here. Christmas package, quantity, maybe they buy 2 Christmas packages. I can have a description here. I can say 1 mouse and 1 monitor, for example. I can save it here. Then after that, I can click on the 3 dots and I can fulfill. When I fulfill, I can do direct fulfillment or pick back ship. And then I can see stock left. I can click here and assemble here. So for example, quantity I want to build, let's build 2, build, and then fulfill. And now it's fulfilled.
Yeah. So the advantage of doing it this way, that is building your finished product or package at the time of selling, is that you never over create items, which gives you the true picture of how much inventory you have, instead of having to build it all first without knowing how many sales might happen. So so that's an advantage of doing it directly from the sales invoice screen when you are fulfilling the item. And this will also update your inventory. So every time you sell 1 Christmas package, the inventory for the monitor and the mouse, as we saw in the previous example, would go down by 1, or whatever is the number of units that we chose when we were creating the package. Okay. So thanks, David. And let us see what other questions we have here. So
Will the design become default for all the
yeah. So will the design become default for all the invoices? We still have not added the save function there, but if you are not refreshing your browser, then it will remain as to whatever that you chose the last time. Once the save function is there, then it won't even rely on that. So yeah, I mean, I hope that answers that. And then the next question is from Mohammed Zain. Is this new year for Yodlee for live? I hope so. We have completed everything. We are just waiting for the production keys, but Yodlee team seems to be on a year-end holiday right now. So as soon as we have the production keys from Yodlee, we will send it out live. So yeah, David is looking at me like, yeah, you know, they are on holiday. Why am I? Sorry, David. All right. Okay. So let us move to Deskera CRM now.
One question. Unable to see pictures of product.
I think we can see the pictures of products, right? I mean,
pictures of products.
You should be able to
if you're facing any issue with that, you can just drop an email to care@deskera.com. Maybe there's some issue, but we can quickly show you how to add pictures in a product.
All right. So for example, I created a product earlier called camera. So I'm just clicking here. I'm editing it. I'm clicking add image. And inside here, I'm just going to scroll down and look for a product that I like. For example, maybe this old time or this cool camera here. And I'm saving the changes. And now inside here, if I click on camera, you should be able to see the picture on the screen right here.
Yeah, so pictures are saved. Maybe you can, I mean, if you are not able to do this, then just drop an email to care@deskera.com. Our support team will help you with any issue that you might be facing in your time. Thank you, James. That is what we want to achieve. Okay, so let's
CRM?
Yeah, let's move to CRM because I don't see any new questions here.
All right, so I'm just going to click on little dice, click on sales, close books, close document generator. All right, so here we are. We're at the dashboard. Inside here, you can see your contacts report, upcoming activities, deal stage, deal won versus deal lost, campaigns, and tickets. So quickly, I'm just going to show you campaigns. Inside here, this is where you can add a campaign. So for example, Monday, matters campaign. And we'll just call this sales event. Select the category, choose the category here. Click next. I can choose which segment I want here. So maybe keyboard leads. After that, I can select my template. All right, I want to use this template. All right. Now I can look here, see if everything looks good. And then I can save and continue. Not summer yet though, but still. And then we can go here, I can click next, put in the sender's name, sender's email address. I can use a different reply. And this is where you can choose Deskera email service or use my own. So if I want to use my own, I can add my email here, put in my sender name, email address, username, password, server and port, and then I can send it out. So click on the icon. You can add up to 5 accounts here. And then I can send test mail, send as draft. Let me go back here, put this in. And send. And now it's done. I just go to campaigns. I can see it's scheduled. If I refresh, it'll show it's completed. I can drill in and see the information here on who's read it, who's not read it. All right, just quickly to go to services. Inside here, this is where you can create your different guides. And this is where you can create your sections and you can create your articles. One thing I just want to mention here is that up here, you can see signed in user, FAQ, author, or you can click here for everyone. The key thing I want to show you is this arrow. This is where you publish and unpublish.
Could we remove the logo from there? Because
this is just a key thing. Sometimes people forget and just click save and they think, okay, it's all done. But it's not been published yet or unpublished yet. So this is where you do it. You click on the error and this is where you can publish and unpublish. Next, we have support. So inside here, this is where you can create a ticket. So I can go here, I can put a message to, I can select the requester, the assignee, the type, is it a question, incident, task, or problem, and the priority, urgent, low, high, or normal. And I can enter the information and send it off. You can also put any internal notes here as well. All right, let's make a deal. So inside here, I can click the plus sign. Also up here, you can click and add pipelines. Please take note, you cannot edit our default. You can only edit your pipelines that you create in the system by clicking the pencil button here. Let me click the plus sign and let's create a deal. Let's see. Last Monday. Last Monday, sales 2020, for example. Sorry about my spelling, it's atrocious. All right, you can select then the organization, like Johnny Electronics, and the contact person will come on up. I can see the owner, sub-owner, put in the deal value. And I can put in the closing date and I can save it. After that, I can click on it and I can see my information. To edit this deal, you click on the 3 dots here and you can edit the deal and delete the deal. I can also connect my email to IMAP. I can go see any activities. I can create an activity here, such as maybe a call. And I can then select who I want. For example, maybe assigned to me, and then we'll go here, contact purpose is maybe Thomas. And maybe the organization is Johnny Electronics. And I can send the invitation out and save. And once it's completed, I just click this checkbox here. Over here, I can put any notes, see my log, and I can click deal won, deal lost. Also, I can drag and drop. So for example, qualify to buy, decision maker buy-in, and you can see the values up here change. So for example, let's see, which that one was Last Monday's sales event. So if I just drag and drop, you can see one deal up here, and it says 1K, and I can just drag to won or lost. So let's win this one. After that, if I click on the dashboard, everything will be updated. If I click on activities, I'll be able to see my activities inside here that are scheduled or planned. And I just want to let you take a note that inside here, if an activity has not been created, you can click here and you can edit the activity here in the system. All right, and that's a quick look at CRM.
Hey, thanks, David. So let us take a quick look at some of the questions that we have in the meantime. So can we print the picture in quotes/invoices? So we have added the invoice generator, which has got the option to add images. It doesn't pick the product image as of now, but it will be able to do that as we keep on adding more improvements to the invoice generator. Then Infocom is saying that they added a product photo using app but cannot see. Just drop us an email, care@deskera.com with your account details and what was the issue, and we will help you with that. Then Mohammed Din is saying that it would be great if all the components don't open in new tab. I already have so many tabs. So yeah, let me spend a couple of minutes on that. So there are different thought processes, or not thought process, but different schools of thought of design around this. So if you look at companies like Atlassian or Google or even Facebook, right? When you open different applications within these platforms, then they always open in a different tab. There are multiple reasons for it, and those same reasons kind of apply to us also to a certain extent. One reason is that all of these are standalone applications as well as they work together. So it's not like that, when you buy Deskera, you have to buy all three. While it is preferred that you get all three to get the best mileage out of the application, but it is completely possible for you to just have CRM or just have books or just have payroll, and you will still be able to run the system completely on its own without any dependence on any of the other applications. And in such scenarios, hey, I mean, if Google is doing it, then they must be doing it for a good reason. I mean, there are multiple reasons behind doing that. But yeah, I mean, it is possible to put them together as well, yes. But there are pros and cons to both the approaches. And for a system like Deskera, where you have got different, very different applications, because CRM is used by a completely different set of users. Payroll is used by a completely different set of users. Books is used by a completely different set of users. You have effectively 3 or 4 different departments using these applications, both from a security perspective, from a role and access management perspective, and from an ease of use perspective. We decided to go with the different tabs option. Okay, so no questions. All right.
People?
So yeah, let's jump to people, David.
Excellent.
Don't jump on people.
Oh, definitely not. I don't want to go to jail. So inside here, we have the dashboard. We can see the last payroll, number of employees, total earnings, deductions, and we can see things to do, important dates, year to date. So now let's go to pay schedule. Inside here, I can add a pay schedule, and we have 4 types now: monthly, weekly, twice per month, and bi-weekly. So you can select which one you want. You can select the work week, payment date, first payment date, work period, and if it's applicable to all users. So for example, people that work in the office will probably be working Monday through Friday on a certain period and maybe paid monthly. But you may have other employees like shop floor workers that are paid hourly and paid on certain periods of time. Maybe they're paid weekly, twice monthly, or maybe bi-weekly. So it all depends on the type of business you're running. Next, we have our employees. So this is where you can go and see your employees live. And I can add employees here. So I can put in the name and information. So let me just edit one here. For example, Kelly Smith. I can see the employee ID, email, designation, birth date, join of date, date of confirmation, the address. Are they full-time, part-time, casual shift worker, probation, or out worker? Their basic salary per hour. Let's see. There we go. Then we have, of course, the payment details, and I can click next. Inside here, I can add components, like a bonus, like a Christmas bonus. We're not getting a Christmas bonus, are we? Okay, and you can assign your components here, and I can click
You
next.
are my bonus, Dave.
Oh, thank you. Next, we have our social security number, our EIC. So this all depends on where you're compliant. So it's important to select which country you're in. So if you select the US, you get US. If you select Malaysia, you get Malaysia. And we have other compliances coming up. So it's important to select the correct company. And you fill in all the information here. And you put in the for example, here, state tax details, and you can save it. We, of course, have payroll. So this is where you can do your pay run. I can go here and I can add a pay run. Select the schedule. So for example, maybe I want monthly. Select the work week. Is it applicable to all users? I select the period. For example, 1st to 31st and apply. Process the payroll. So inside here, you can see update on overtime hours and hours worked will be reflected after clicking next. So if I click on the plus sign here, this is where I can go and put in the overtime, 1.5 and 2 currently. I can also click on the 3 dots here. So for example, I can click edit here. And inside the edit, this is where I can make some changes. For example, any loss to pay, any overtime, any of the basic salary I can update here, add any components. Employees tax I can see here, employer's tax I can see here, and I can save it. All right, so after that, I can click next. And then it's ready for processing. And I go here and say process payroll. To ensure accuracy, please review your payroll numbers and make sure they're 100% correct. Do you wish to continue to process your payroll? Yes.
Maybe we should put a, the way that you mentioned that, we should put an image of a gargoyle next to that, just to make sure that, people are aware of the gravity of the situation here,
It's very important, make sure everything's correct. You have the ability to view summary here and double check one last time, make sure everything looks correct. And then after that, you can click finish. After you click finish, the pay run's completed. Please take note, currently, if I select this, you cannot delete payroll. Only if it's in upcoming, you can edit and delete it, but after it's processed, unfortunately, you cannot delete it. So please be aware of this. Next, let's go to eLeave. So inside here, this is your settings. You can create your leave management. So this is where you can create your leave types. I can create a new leave. Just put in the leave name, days, number of days, accrual, leave occurred on. So let's just say 10 days. And let's say this is mental health day, health leave. Paid or unpaid. Select the color. I can select the gender or marital status. Sorry, so like maternity and paternity. Allow unpaid. Maximum consecutive. Activate the leave or deactivate it. Apply before confirmation and year based. So if I want different years, for example, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, I can also do that here. All right, and then of course we can do our applications here and create a new application and apply for the leave. And finally, let's go to expenses. So inside here, you can see your expense dashboard. You can go and do the admin settings where you can set up your groups as well as your categories. You can go to a new claim here. You can put in the merchant's name, total amount, any tax code, category, and description, and you can submit it. And then inside here, I can see submitted. I can see admin to review, and I can click the X box or the check box to approve, and I can print it out. So for example, I'm rejecting your $10. So rejected. And that's a quick look at people.
Awesome. So thanks, David, for the demo. And let's see if we have any questions here. So, okay. Yeah, so Mohammed then is saying that, yeah, when you, because we open it in multiple tabs, so when you, click on the application name, it opens in a new tab. And then if you want to go back to that by clicking on the link, then it opens a new tab again. So that is browser behavior, because if you have a tab open and then you want to access a previous tab from the same existing browser, that is never recommended because that tab may or may not exist. In fact, I don't know if you've tried that, but if you are using Google, go to Google, open Gmail, go to Calendar. From Calendar, click on the Gmail link, it will open in a new tab. So it's because of security, because you never know whether that previous tab exists or not, and it can take you somewhere else. So that is never to be done. So that's why we cannot send you back to the previous books tab that you came from, because that tab exists completely independently, outside of the CRM tab. Then Shashi has a question. What about leave encashment and air ticket gratuity, etc.? We will add them, but you have our roadmap in front of you. Once we have finished our current roadmap for HR, we will be adding more options there as well. We are not going to stop after we finish the current roadmap. So yeah, these are things that you will and definitely will get. Then regarding the overtime calculations, yes, that we discussed, I think a couple of webinars ago, and that's already in the development backlog. So we will have that taken care of as well. And yeah, if you're not able to view the payslip, have you written to care@deskera.com? If you have, if you have written and they have responded to you, then they're working on the issue. So they will solve it. Okay. Let's see if we have any other questions. So thank you, Koroy. I think the credit goes to David because he's the voice, and he's excellent with the product. And yeah, he's the life of the webinar, if you ask me, right? But yeah, Shashank is busy right now. There are multiple things going on, as you are aware, with the roadmap and with other things. So he's busy, but yeah, he will be back on these webinars, and we will have a more, we'll have a slightly different structure to the webinars also. While we will continue to do the Q&A and show the new features and do a demo, we also want to get more involvement from each one of you in these webinars. We want to listen to you. We want you to talk about your business and what are the challenges that you faced and how we can help you solve them. And let's have a more one-to-one, more personal session here as well, which is obviously going to be useful for everybody, because all of us have similar problems. It's just that at different levels. So when we talk about it, we find some good solutions together. So we want to definitely do that. James, for expense, we have a question here. So for expense, I tried out a dummy expense and approved it, but realized I cannot delete. Any workaround to delete the expense? I think once you have approved an expense, you are unable to delete it because it's already approved. Yeah, if it's already approved, then you cannot delete it generally.
Only the person who applies it.
Correct. It has to be unapproved. Typically, if you add an expense, then the administrator generally does not delete expenses because the employee. Imagine a scenario, right? That the employee applies for an expense, and then the employee's expense is approved, and the employee gets a notification that the expense has been approved, and then it is deleted later on without the employee getting paid for that. So, and then there is no record then, right? Of whether that expense was ever there in the system when, so there are, that's a use case that It's tricky. So typically, if you approve an expense, we don't allow it to be deleted.
Well, maybe just reject it, or maybe have something.
Yeah, you can always reject an expense. If you don't want to approve it, you can always reject an expense. But if you approve it, then the employee gets a notification that, hey, your expense has been approved, right? And then if you delete it, that's a problem. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions coming up. And yeah, I mean, I was talking about, how we want to do slightly different webinars going forward, wherein we want you to be a part of this webinar, right? And I look forward to that. I think Shashank started a thread and we received a few responses. Please, I mean, if you want to be here, just let us know. We would love to have you on these webinars. So no more questions coming in. So considering that this is the last product webinar of 2020, now we will see you with a new product webinar on the 4th. 4th is the next Monday, right? That we are available, or is it?
Yeah, because January 1st is Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it has to be January 4th.
Yeah, so 4th, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see you back on 4th with the product webinar now. But just want to take a few minutes here to look back at the year that we had, right? I mean, we scrapped our legacy product, not scrapped, but we kind of, deprecated it. We phased it out. We built a new product, an accounting product, a payroll product, a CRM product from scratch. We had the mobile app out. The mobile app did really well. We had over 500,000 downloads worldwide on the mobile app. Then we had the big web application launch. We had we launched the web application on 17th of October on Product Hunt. It was the #1 product of the day. Then we came to AppSumo, 801 reviews in one single listing. That is, others have more than 800 reviews or 1,000 reviews, but they have been listed multiple times. 801 reviews in one single listing. So that is a record of its kind. And again, I mean, it's thanks to all of you, that we managed to do that. Then, I mean, if I look at how the product was on the 17th of October compared to how it is looking right now, there is a huge difference, and a lot of that is because of you guys and the great feedback and the interactions that we have had with all of you, right? We added, I mean, back in October, the plan was, okay, we'll, release compliance for US, and that will be all. And maybe, we'll do Canada, but then we started talking to you guys, and then we have added, I mean, since the launch on AppSumo, which was mid-October, or rather, mid to late October, I think, we have added multiple compliances to Deskera books. And let me tell you something, other companies add these compliances over a period of an year. Nobody does it in 2 to 4 weeks like how we have done it, but we have done it. We have pulled it off. Again, I mean, all the credit goes to all of you and to our amazing technical team who are doing and putting in a lot of hard work, behind the scenes. And I just want you to know that these guys have put in a lot of effort, a lot of hard work to make things happen here. Because I mean, I remember I think in 2019 December, I was talking to this company, I won't take their name, to an Australian-based company who do HR, and they were planning to come to Singapore with their HR application. And I asked them that, when will your application be ready? And they said it would be ready by early 2021 for Singapore HR. We have added US payroll, we have added Singapore payroll, we have added Malaysia payroll. We are already working on Australia payroll and Canada payroll in a span of 3 months. And that is the speed, that is the commitment that we have towards what you want. And we hope to keep fulfilling that commitment, that faith that you have shown in us. And just keep encouraging us, keep pushing us in the right direction, right? That is what that helps us keep our drive and keep us motivated at all times. I mean, good feedback, great feedback. See, I mean, so when I say good and great feedback, it need not always be feedback like, hey, this application is good. No, I mean, that's not just great feedback. That is also good feedback. But even feedback wherein you come and tell us, hey, this is how you can improve this. These are the things that you can change. This is how life will be easier. Or, stuff like, things to make changes in the UI, for example, like what Koroy mentioned earlier, right? I mean, yeah, it makes complete sense. And having that kind of feedback, having that kind of interaction with this community is what makes us stand apart, which it is what gives us that strength to do things and quickly, and then make you happy with that. And that is what we will continue to do in 2021 with amazing product updates, with more integrations, with more features, and even better UX and a dark mode at some point of time. So that's from me. David, do you want to add anything?
Happy New Year.
Wonderful. Yeah. So with that, let's end today's broadcast. Very happy New Year to you from Shashank and Somesh and me and David, Somesh is the layout guy, right? And from everybody else in the Deskera team. Thank you so much for being so great, for supporting us, for putting your faith in Deskera. And I can assure you, we are going to get stronger in 2021. Thank you.